Hello, chatters. I am back. Yippee. It's been a day. Um, yeah. Me playing Minecraft. Let's get into it. I don't know what else exactly to say, but my phone keeps on like not working properly and it's starting to worry me a little bit. We're at the farm. Yeah. Some stuff happened, so we moved things around a bit. I did some stuff. I like come here just like work on shit when I'm like or just I'll find if I'm on call with someone I will find random shit to do, and it just happened that one of those included what's it called, hanging out and doing stuff at this place. So haha. Where's my sandstone? The sandstone. So yeah, so I ended up kind of just chilling here for a bit. I also realized I said I'd like work on the storage system all on stream, and then as I was calling with my mom yesterday, and I just like went to go do something, and I just started mining shit out. So from now on, everything for the storage system will be done on the stream. Um, yeah, we're gonna mainly focus on the villagers now, I think, for now. Because yeah, is there a cherry biome? We don't have much cherry wood. Is there like a cherry biome I can stop by? You're kidding me. Why is like the nearest cherry biome past the house? Yes, this is what I use the map for, by the way, chat, is I use it to just like check locations of biomes. If you can tell, I've filled in a lot. Yeah, I think the closest thing is basically go to the house, stop by, and then do other stuff. I almost forgot to grab the iron. My phone keeps on shutting off. Why does it do this? It's saying my stream isn't playing, but it's like it. Okay, I think we're good now. I think my phone won't shut off. It's kind of important that my phone doesn't shut off, because if it does, then I can't tell if you guys like followed or anything. Okay, yeah. Now it's actually playing my stream. Basically, what I have to do to get my phone to stay on is like what's it called? I don't know. Oh yeah, I have to like pull up Stream Manager with my stream on, so I just like minimize it. But it has to like have something playing, otherwise it doesn't like it. It's fussy. We're trying out a different vibe today. I was like, I feel upbeat, and then I was looking at my upbeat plays, and I was like, this doesn't quite fit the vibe. And then I realized that the vibe I want is angry a little. So we're putting on a different playlist. We'll see how this one goes. Where is it? Oh, it's okay. If I go cross and then go up that area instead of down. Okay, I know where I'm going. What I might make that on? I realized I was like, something feels off about this. And then, yeah. Don't hit the pavement. That's what I call entertainment. I really need to like actually figure out stream shit, and I know I always say this and then like don't, but I promise you guys I am thinking about it, okay? Promise, pinky promise. Oh yeah, so with the villager thing, I mean, I like the octagonal shape on the inside, but outside I want to make it look a little different. So we're basically going to be building the base, in a bit of a... We're gonna really... This, like, honestly, the main focus of the stream is not actually going to be moving the villagers. It's literally just going to be building the thing. And then if it happens to work out to also... What's it called? Actually start moving the villagers, then we do that as well. But the main point of this is to what's it called? The main point of this stream is to get what's it called? I'm not being able to think today. The main point of this stream is to build the building for the villagers. Yeah. That is our goal. Okay, so fun things happen at work today, chat. So I, like, we're about to, like, have a couple days where, like, we don't have to work. So my bosses were like, perfect, we can, like, soak the stovetop grates, because those, you just always are using them, and you can't really just wipe them down clean all the time. If anyone says you can, I'd like to know what stove you have, guys. Well, okay, we don't have a convection stove. Like, oh, not the... We have a gas stove. It's a bit harder to clean than a different stove. I forget what they're called. The ones where it's like a conduction stove, is that it? I don't know. The other type of stove. We don't have that. So we do have to kind of like, if we're cleaning the stovetop, we kind of like have to like take it all out and stuff. So my bosses took the opportunity, we're like, yo, can you start like these soaking for a couple days, so that we're able to just really clean them, and I was like, abso-fucking-lutely I can. Whereas typically I go as far as I can, but this is counterproductive right now. Until my head locked, my daddy's got a gun, my daddy's got a gun, my daddy's got a gun, my daddy. Okay. Oh, I can undefinitely my Discord call. I forgot. I always forget to do that, don't I, chat? I always fucking forget to do that. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I did that. But then my, like, obviously I was just like doing the rest of like my little cleanup tasks. So I was like, okay, I have to, I just like went entirely somewhere different, but okay. What's it called? Sorry, I need to check something. I think I know what it is, but let me just double check. Yep. Okay. What's it called? Yeah, okay, so I was like finishing up my shift. I like had literally made everything, like I was making brunch and everything. I made a killer brunch today, guys. I made cinnamon buns, frittata, like mini frittatas, and hash browns and shit. It was delicious, if I do say so myself. But, what's it called? I then also happened to, oh my gosh, okay, wow. I was like cleaning up and I was like cleaning, what, I can just not speak today, wow. Words are so hard today, apparently, chat. But I was just cleaning the knives, and because the day before, like yesterday, I wasn't really needed, so like my boss was just like, literally, do you want to just spend the entire morning sharpening all of our knives, because like that never gets done because we're always so busy, and I was like, fuck yeah, I do. It was great. It was such a fun time. And so then I spent like the entire morning, and because of that, the knives were really sharp. And the thing is typically our knives are not that sharp because we are an industrial kitchen that uses them all the time, you know? And that's kind of like dulls them pretty fast. So yeah, but they weren't dull because I had to sharpen them. And this isn't to be like, oh, I was being stupid. Like, genuinely, it's just like, it just happens to be a coincidence that these two things happened at the same time. But as I was washing one of the knives, it slipped from my grip and sliced my finger. But because it was just recently sharpened, it did a lot more damage than it would normally do. We're gonna go fill in the section on the map because it's really annoying me. And then we'll go back to our usually scheduled adventure times. We're headed, like, this direction, right? Like, that's There, perfect. But yeah, so I like have a cut on my index finger right now. It's like right at like near the tip of my finger, so it's like in a really inconvenient place. Um, but yeah, no, I literally, it was really funny because I like walked out to like one of my other coworkers and I was like, "Yo," she's like the one in charge of like my like putting out all the food and everything, like make sure everyone goes through and all that shit. Very important job. She's lovely. But I like went to her and I was like, "Yo," I like sliced my hand. And she's like, "Are you okay?" Like she saw me like holding my hand in a bandage. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I just like sliced my hand. As of course I was like actually just finishing up what I was doing. Like not it didn't. I wasn't like before. It was like after I had already literally finished it. And then it was like, ugh. It was actually so no. Oh, I don't have my boots on. Putting those back on. But yeah, no, it was actually like so annoying because I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Literally, at like the end of my shift, this is when I give myself a cut, and it's like actually bleeding. And that's the other annoying thing, chat. Is it was like, you know, like how some cuts on your fingers, like if you get like a paper cut, they don't like always bleed, but then sometimes you get a paper cut and like it bleeds a lot. Where am I going? I'll go down. And that's the thing is, I was like, I saw the cut on my finger and I was like, oh, it's probably gonna like not gonna be that bad. It bled for a while. I was like, ooh, this is worse than I thought. And it's like still not a bad cut. It just like I think it just happened to nick somewhere where the blood was coming from. So you know, that just that tends to do it. You know that tends to do something when you nick a spot where blood vein is. And don't worry, chat. I'm perfectly fine. Like this is literally like a minuscule cut. Like it literally looks like it could also be a paper cut. I just find it really funny because I was like, of course I don't like. I cut myself when I'm washing a knife, not when I'm actually cutting myself, not when like I'm doing something else. Like all my injuries in the kitchen are like from such dumb things. Oh yeah, and I also burned my hand today because my stupid little dumbass was like, "Oh yeah, I'm putting these like stovetops in the sink to what's it called? I'm putting them in the sink to soak, and the thing is with that is we have pilot lights for them. So one part of them is always hot. One part of the stovetop is always hot. Just because we have pilot lights, because that's how you light a gas stove is you need a pilot light or you need like a clicker or something. We have pilot lights in ours, which makes sense. But then because of that, we happen to not like well, yeah, once that's hot. So I put them into the sink, and then I went to readjust one because I was like, oh, it's like slightly lopsided. I think this is the like side that I put it down with earlier, so it's like the side that's safe to touch. Wrong side is all I have to say, chat. I did not remember correctly what side I put into yeah, I did not correctly remember what side I grabbed onto. So I also burned myself on my other hand. I burned myself on one hand, and on one hand I burned myself, on the other I cut myself. Today was a day. But actually it went really well because like days like this, we always like have our regular scheduled shifts, but like it's an understanding that like you leave once you're done your work, you know? Like there's no real point in staying past when you're done your work. You know, there's no real. I hit you twice. Okay, screw that. Perfect. I have one cherry blossoms happening. I just need like one more. Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll see if we get. We'll stay around here just very quickly. Oh, perfect. A third one, and of course, this is when my control key decides it doesn't like me. I need to get a new keyboard because my keyboard has decided it hates me. And I don't mean that like, you know, like a little silly, like, oh, haha, it's like, I don't know. Well, okay, it is obviously like silly, but this stupid keys stop working at points, and it's really annoying me. Okay, where am I We're just gonna go straight to the house. Straight towards it. I really am just filling out like this entire section of the map. It's just getting filled out. But anyways. Ugh. But yeah, no. So today was a day of injuries. But hey, at least I don't have to work for like the next 2 days, so we're fine. Oh, and also about that then, I will probably be streaming the next 2 days. Possibly, I might be doing an early stream. Who knows? We'll see if the mood possesses me. There might be an early stream in the future for you guys, chat. Possibly. I think it'd be fun to actually stream during the day, because then there's a much higher possibility that other people are able to join in and chill with me. So yeah. Haha. Why do I not have that in my hotbar? I don't know. I should probably get a keybind for this one because it's like looking important. You're kidding, right? Okay, come on. Perfect. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did a couple more books. I think I only did like 2 more books, but I added them to the bookshelf as well because that's an ongoing just kind of chip away at it project where it's just like, okay, I kind of have to like work on these. And it's like this weird thing where it's like, okay, I could do it on stream, but then also like I feel like that's really bad stream content because I'm literally just like looking at like the thing being like, okay, did I write this out correctly? Yep. There's like a couple like the fears that I'm like, okay, I can write those on stream because I'm fully writing them myself. But then there's others like the books and like the childhood books and like the chapter books and stuff, and I'm like, I'm literally just copying shit. So I don't always feel the best about doing that on stream just because I feel like it's relatively boring. Yeah, relatively boring content. The other thing is also the storage system has run into yet another kind of issue in that, okay, I'm almost home. In that, we are really close to the surface. Yeah, so I feel like the best options are either lower the basement even more, or re-terraform the area around. So I have to talk to the members of the server about that. But that's a thing. Yeah. Also, not gonna lie, I'm not gonna like really talk about this too much, but I was like, for the entirety of my shift in the kitchen today, I was just listening to Tubbo on his stream today, and that was a time. I have not liked Dream for a while, so I am not sad at all about it. Who the fuck did this? Sorry, what? Why is there just a random staircase going up the side of the mountain? Who? Who did this? That's crazy work. I also love how we really are going with an open concept for a while here. Okay. Saplings. Okay, great. We do have saplings. Oh, we do have cherry wood. Sweet. Stealing all of it. We're just gonna grab straight stone. Much more possibilities there. I forget where I left my other ender chest. It's really annoying. I have 2 other skeleton skulls in there. Okay. Let's head over here. Nah, thank you. Oh yeah, also, so for villagers, I'm thinking the general idea is we have like 3 floors and then like one where the villagers, oh, why am I going over here? I'm building this over here. I like one way past. This is not the vibe. This is the vibe. Okay, so here's the thing. This is like decently big. I like this. I like the outline of this for the inside. For the outside, however, we're going to count this, and then we're going to place a second outline of a circle. Because I think it'd be really fun if it's a circle on the outside and then a hexagon, an octagon in the middle. I think that's fun. So, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, yeah, because this does have a center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, 23. Let me pull up my circle generator. Minecraft circle generator. Minecraft circle. That is just over there. Okay. I said it was 23, right? Yeah, 23. Okay, so it's 5, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Oh shit. Wait. Oh wait. 1, 2, 3. Oh, perfect. Okay, so then it's 2, 2, 1, and then 2, 2. Okay, that's like barely any different. That's kind of what I wanted, which is perfect. Bad, bad, freaking good, good, freaking mad, freaking very mad, freaking. Bad, bad, freaking good, good, freaking mad, freaking very mad, freaking. No, I do kill my mood, so if you sick it, why owe you? I very much appreciate them for that. Okay, so then from the outside, I think for the base, it's a tower. And then yeah, this will be enough space as well that we can actually make a full like farm thing for the villagers. So I think the basement will be librarians. So, oh yeah, this is the other thing as well. So, what I found out about this, I don't remember if I counted this on stream or not. But, basically, for how many villagers it can hold is the first layer when you walk in, I don't want there to be any villagers on, like, the side that you walk in on. So, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 30. Yeah, anyways, basically, what I'm getting at is we don't need a whole lot of these layers. So I'm kind of almost toying with the idea of then, yeah, having the bottom layer be librarians, and then the 2 next layers, which would downsize slightly, then be, what's it called? Then the next 2 layers would be other villagers. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm trying to say. I love just being like, ah ha ha, I cannot think sometimes. Okay, and then we're also going to just straight up plant a bunch of cherry trees over here, and then kind of like use the wood as we need. Okay. We're going to basically just kind of put down the basics and then change it up as we go. So yeah, that's starting off with stone bricks as the base block, and then we're kind of going to be replacing as we kind of go. Straight for the castle. They wanna make me the queen. I gotta be so mean about straight for the castle. They wanna make me probably it's gotta straight for the castle. Okay. It also feels really weird that I'm gonna be like adding signs of like inspo to like Wookiee X on this build. Not like that he's a bad builder, it's just really funny to like credit a lifestealer as like something inspo for a building. Like it's just that in sentence itself feels ironic, okay? But yeah. And be so mean, man, straight for the castle. Also, if like people decide that they don't like the look of this, and they want something else for the villagers, I'm going to just transform this into something else. I don't know exactly what I'll be, but I'll make it something. Probably gonna be so mean, that's you for the castle. I forgot to grab a bed over here, but luckily the house is just like right over here, so I can just kind of easily pop over. Not the bed. I also have to build a place for all my dogs to live. So I have to do that. I'll take a line bed. This is not the vibe. This is good. Ooh, I thought of a playlist that could be a vibe. So don't talk about this as I haven't really talked about this. I have like an entire universe created chat. And most of the characters in that universe have a playlist. And there are some that are a vibe, so I might play some of them sometime. There's a creeper there, I saw that. You will not catch me lacking about the creeper there. If it wants to be my enemy, it's my enemy. You know, okay, this is a crazy take, possibly, but a collab that would go absolutely crazy is ATs and Imagine Dragons. Like, low-key, imagine, like, a Hongjun rap on this song or something. Like, that'd be crazy. Oh, the misery. Sympathy. Everybody wants to be my enemy. My enemy. Okay, so the idea is to kind of here now add the cherry logs in a bit of a way. Kind of blends them together a bit. Favorite part of my song right there, by the way. The rap, GID. I like had no clue who he was before this. Fucking great rap. So sympathy, everybody wants to be my enemy. Okay, so we definitely want this to be that. We got bills, we got taxes. Speaking about taxes, I had to do tax stuff. And man, did I remember how much I dislike taxes. I still have bills. I still have bills. I still have bills. Thanksgiving. Oh, come on. Where's your leader? We got bills, and we got taxes. Well, I'll let those trees grow for a bit. Satisfaction. Let me take that ice. I still have taxes. Oh, and I still have bills. And I still have bills. Okay, oh, we still have to do these ones, these corners. Still have this. Let me grab my shovel real quick. I don't particularly love that, so perfect. Oh, there's a like cavern right here. Lovely. Oh wait, didn't she like do something? I don't know, but anyways, we'll skip it for now. I will fight you. Disappear. I'm a ghost. No, tell me I don't. I'm a ghost. Every time I hit the floor, I'm a ghost. See me I don't. Okay. I'm a ghost. Everything they've done. I'm a ghost. Every time you hit the floor, I'm a ghost. Okay, so this is the inside. And I'm kind of thinking, I don't really know how I want this downsize completely. I think we might literally just, downsize by one real quick and see what circle that generates with us. I'm a ghost. Nice thing that I don't. I'm a ghost. I see you now you don't. I forgot how much of stuff. Okay, here we go. One, two, three, 1, 2. Oh, that's not right. I'm trying to make sense of this. Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Okay. Sleeping. I forgot I had a cut in my hand, and then I was like, wow, that feels, part of my skin feels weird, and then I was like, oh yeah, because I have a fucking cut. Okay. In the city. It's to say, way a mile away. Gasoline, this little city of angels. It's like you'll be the first one. Take it all and that's it. Yes, let's talk about the fakers in LA, but now you're one of them. Desert away. They left the way you had to play. Just wanted to please you give sense of fun. Don't know how you live. Happened your house on the hills. Give me to the city of angels. That's what they call us, right? Able. There's so much more time. And now you wanna damn it hurts to say. Damn it hurts to say. You always want a taste of it. You give them so fun. You don't know how you make. My roadhouse on the hills. Give me to the city of angels. That's what they call us, right? Wish you able. So much more to life. Angels. That's what they call us, right? We're angels. Why is it? Oh, this doesn't have the extra room. So then this one leaves us with, wait, let me quickly just remove these blocks. cannot hide. I tried and tried a million times. Cross my heart and hope to die. Welcome to my dark side. To my dark side. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, I don't like that. We're decreasing it by 1 more. It's in the dark side. In my ear. I've been trying a million times. Let it cross my heart and hope to die. To the dark side. Oh, to the dark side. Oh, to the dark side. To the dark side. To the dark side. I hope to die. Welcome to the dark side. Oh, it's in the dark side. Oh, in the dark side. And now what? Sense, quiet, shh. The rings were 11. Sitting walking does nothing. Scared of going out into the public. Yeah, we're the kings now. Take it if you're finding your first cover. Talk about a ball on a budget. No, there's where we go. No, it's real soldiers. Very good, very good. It's quiet. Shh. But I love it. Sitting on yeah, we the kings. Forgot it. Talk about a ball on a budget. Yeah, then sing. Take the. Okay, so here we have. Okay, now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, perfect. Why do you care for me when we are close? Where do we go? okay, this is like the general layout of the building. So now why are you scared of me? Why do you care for me? We are fall asleep. Where do we go? Oh God. Honestly, I thought I'd be dead by now. Friend right now. Didn't I say those things I can't say no, now I can't say no. There's a love and I might say no, I can't say no. Several times, stay by your tongue. Try to go. Ah, no! That's fine. You want from me, why you run from me? Why you wondering, what do you want? Why are you scared of me? Why do you care for me? When you're falling asleep, where do we go? Okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then we need to do like 3 layers of this. This night was so much trouble, burning by with the best start to fire. Checks fire, change my name. My head was on burning. Okay, so this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. Smile back, trying to change the way, and my troubles are burning. on a burning fire. Lit up and I start to smile. If I get fine, then I change my name. Again it goes on, my days on a burning smile. Lit up and I start to smile. If I catch fire, anything will do. Burning, burning, burning. Okay, so that's, that's how many layers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's, okay, that's the 2 villagers done, and then if we downsize, okay, this is a joke song. I haven't, like, literally any playlist I make, I have to put that song in there. It's stupid and it's hilarious because literally I could be listening to any vibe of song and then suddenly that one comes on and I just like start laughing. Okay, time to come back to the circles. Oh, okay. Circles. Okay, this one is now starting to be fun. Get to my phone, sing this song. I'll wait until I'm finished building this layer to actually figure out where I want everything to go. Wait. I just have to get to my phone. Okay, two. Oh, now do I add these just to this layer and then go to smaller based off of that? I think so. Perfect. Okay. Huh? Wait, that's not right. That's why. Happy day, I'm happy day. Say good on a happy face. Good on a happy face. Everything's okay. Good on a happy face. Good on a happy face. Everything's okay. Good on a happy face. I'm happy today. I'm happy. Say good on a happy face. Tick tock, ticking like a time bomb. Yeah, I'll worry about the inside parts later. This is just more about designing the outside. Happy face. On a happy face. Everything's okay, so if we put on a happy face, and everything's okay. Put on a happy face. Put on a happy. Everything's okay. Put on a happy face. My best friend, you go and get fucked up. Never got to live. Okay, so that's then first floor, and then this is the last building. Okay. All my best friends like to go and fucked up. Never got to leave. For their invitation. Okay. We can have a high ceiling on this one. Okay. Oh. I think then, yeah, I add a more interesting pattern using other things. Okay. And then if we... All I've ever wanted. You haven't watched Prince of Egypt? Watch Prince of Egypt. It's fucking amazing. All I ever wanted. This is my home. Father, my brother. Okay. Couldn't be more wrong. I am son of Egypt. What if I just give everything super high roofs? No, like, what if I just make everything the length that the second layer is? That would make it a better tower. Oh, then I have to re-tear down everything. And redo every fucking thing. Oh, but it'd be so good, and like the connections would just be between the layers instead. Or, well... Oh, okay. Time to destroy everything I just built. Yippee. We'll come up with a different... Now that I have like an idea of what I want, it's gonna be also easier. Because here's the thing, is like, I came into this and I was like, we're gonna just fucking build. Place blocks and kind of go from there. But now I'm like, oh, I actually like kind of know what I want now to do with this. So it's gonna definitely be easier a bit. But it's just kind of also another thing of like, I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I think it also then, I don't know what speed up's like tower ratio. He has like this entire ratio thing, how many blocks it should be to how big it is at the bottom. I think it's like 1.75 or something. Haunted house. Haunted house. Haunted house. Haunted house. Haunted house. Yeah, okay. I realized I'm just going silent a lot. But I'm like, Loki, when I build, especially like if I'm not building like a pre-built thing, it's like you have to kind of concentrate. You're like, what am I doing? And it's easier to just sing along with the background music than like fully talk out sentences. But yeah. Okay. I think we're gonna switch over to a different playlist. We'll see if that playlist fits the vibe because what's it called? I think it'd be fun. Because I know it's a banger playlist. I think yeah. We'll wait for this song too. And before we switch over. Sure, wait, I have to pull up the playlist. Let me go do that. My Marauders. Where is his playlist? Jackson. There we go. This is like only about 2 hours long. But yeah. Okay. So this universe that this character's from is like fully my own. Well, okay, fully my own. It's actually quite interesting. So basically, during high school, I had a relatively large friend group, and so what's it called? I had this one friend who lived relatively close to me. So if we took the bus, there would be often either I would drive her home, she would drive me home, or we'd take the bus together. Is basically what it was. Ever since like grade 11, and during grade 11 and 12 we did that. And so one day, one of our friends came to, like, in anime there's like that little like hairspray that like a lot of the characters have, and he genuinely came to school, did not style his hair at all, and accidentally had that little like hair sprig thing. It was the first time I've ever seen someone just naturally have one, and like we all were like, man, you're really the anime protagonist today. But as we were walking home then, as we were walking to the bus stop, me and that friend, she was like, we were talking about just random stuff, and we were like, hey, like, who do you think would be like the protagonist in like a story? And we were kind of like thinking just like funny stuff, and then we were like, we were just kind of like going through genres and being like, oh, who would like fulfill what role in which genre of thing. And then because like one of our friends had come to school with like a little anime thing, we're like, oh, well, he'd obviously be a protagonist in a story, but our friend group. And then we just kind of kept talking about it, and then we kind of realized, well, this is actually kind of interesting. And it kind of spiraled just into this thing where we eventually came up with a like idea of like setting for the universe, and we also then came up with like a plot line. But then we're like, okay, we don't really want to just write our friends, so then we gave everyone like names. Some people's was based off of like a joke, like the main character, his name is Frederick in the book, but that's the name of the guy that he was based upon. That was the name of his character in our school play. And so there was like stuff like that where we just happened to like have funny little coincidences that like would match up. And so yeah, we ended up then creating a universe, and everyone in our friend group got a character. big or small part, we literally kind of pieced together, like, it wasn't even depending on like how close of friends we were the people who got the main parts. It genuinely was just like, oh, it makes sense for like these guys, since we're making Frederick the protagonist, then these other guys would fulfill this part. And then we kind of assigned everyone a role within the story and then figured out how important they were to the plot before through that. I really hate this. But yeah, and because of that, then some people like ended up with relatively minor parts, and people ended up with not so minor parts. I happened to end up with one of the more major parts, my character. And then we like kind of fleshed it out more with some characters that weren't just from our based off of our friends. And also, when I say based off of our friends, I mean they share a birthday with our friends now. And what else? I think they all share like one physical trait with the person, and like at least one base personality trait. So like my character, or like they kind of are a version of ourselves if we were even very extremely traumatized and lived in this world. But like also, if I took my character's name is Ash. If I took Ash out of this universe and I put her in this world, she would still not be like me. There's parts of her that I can relate to. I mean, she's kind of written off of me, so like I can definitely, there's parts where I'm like, yeah, I can relate to that. But also, yeah, no, there's definitely like a disconnect between the person that they initially were written as and who then they ended up being. And so if you really know who they were based off of, I think you can probably end up guessing. It's what's really funny is one of the people that we ended up like being like, oh yeah, this guy is like kind of shitty at the beginning, and then he like gets better as the story progresses. He was turned out to be a shitty friend in real life. So it was a little funny when I realized that we were like, oh, okay. But anyways, the whole plot line is basically overthrowing a tyrannical government that no one really realized was a tyrannical government. And there's parts that remind me, I mean, like, we kind of were influenced by a lot of stuff. What's really funny is me and her both put a lot of different influences into this, whether through the media and stuff. A lot of the times in like little background scenes, if we needed to like have other characters mentioned or something else mentioned, we made it a reference to something, whether that was in the friend group a reference or like a media reference or something like that, or a reference towards one of someone's interests or something. Like, we basically made it so that it was like just fun for our friends. We ended up we then plotted out an entire series, and we ended up writing one book. Unfortunately, we aren't super close friends anymore. Like, it just kind of happened. Like, I moved away, she went to university. We aren't super close friends anymore, and so I don't ever know whether the rest of the books are gonna get written. But I'm probably gonna, at one point or another, attempt, because the way we kind of did this was we kind of entered in it together. Like, it's both of our projects, and we both love the series a lot. Was I kind of did a lot of the world building and character building, and she did like the writing, because I am not a super confident writer, and stuff, and so then yeah, but it's all very fun, because we had a larger friend group. This is actually the playlist we're listening to, the character that it's from. And this is not like music the character would listen to. These are like character playlists on the fact of like this is like songs that can relate to them. If you can't tell, this guy's a little traumatized. This is one of the people that actually was not based off of our friend group, but is actually one of my oldest OCs. And originally he was in a completely different universe, but we needed people to flesh out, and this universe has a magic system. And I used to have an old universe with a magic system, and it was a lot more loose. but I made some of my original characters there. And when I was looking at it, there's some that I love them, but they just exist in that world. And I wish I could give them a better story, because Loki, the characters that I in the story created for that world, was not my favorite. Well, it was at the time. It's not now, but it is. I still hold love for those characters, and so when the chance came, when we needed more characters, I was like, oh well, I happen to have some characters that have powers and everything, already planned out, and like relatively fleshed out personalities and stuff, so we don't have to spend a whole lot of time developing everyone's personalities. And I also would be the one probably doing most of that stuff. So we ended up agreeing to use those. And Jackson, this guy, is one of those characters that we agreed to use. And it's really nice to see him in a universe that I actually was able to do him justice in, because I will fully admit the universe I had him in before did not do justice to him. It did not. And yeah, but basically I'm just gonna start explaining the story, because fuck it. I hold a lot of love for this universe, and I want to tell the story somewhere. Even if, yeah. Some of my friends, I mean, Jade has a part in this story. Jade has a character. And so we've talked with plot about this, about the plot with some of them. I've talked about the plot with some of my friends. But, so, okay. There's like kind of two main trios of characters. One we call the Assassin Trio, which is my character, Jade's character, and our other friend's character. And so their names are Ash is my character's name, Lily is Jade's character's name, and Apo is the other one. And some of these were made off of like inside jokes. Some of these were like just thought the name sounded cool and stuff, so don't read too much into the names. Like, guys, they're just names. Some of them were inside jokes and stuff though, but they are just, at the end of the day, names. And so what's it called? That's the first main trio that's like important. And then the other trio that's pretty important, I don't know if we actually ever really gave them a name, but they are the main characters in a way. Well, like, it's Frederick and his two best friends, basically. And then they also have another girl named Bella, and she's also pretty important. And so, to understand the world, a little bit of background is that there is one major city that this takes place in. It's the capital of the country, and I know how cliche that sounds, believe me, I know. But it's the capital of the country, and in it, things are not good. The city is sectioned into 3 different sections. It's built on a hill, and so each section kind of has its different place based on where it is on the hill. Like, it's kind of like built in a circle or area. And at the very top is the elites. The nickname for them in the group books is the Inbreds, because they basically, like, the only way that they consider marrying or having a child with someone from a lower class being dirtying the bloodline. They are essentially, I mean, they're the highest first class. It is a little commentary on society that I included because, yep. um, but with that, we meet our first main character, Frederick, and he belongs to that upper class. And his father blames him for the death of his mother, but we don't really know why. We just know that his mother's dead and his father kind of doesn't like him because of that. And then the other important things to note is, so like there's a middle class and people can go between the upper and middle class, but it's kind of like a little, well, the middle class is mainly where you'd like a lot of like the mechanics, engineers, anyone who like a lot of the more like what's it called, the trades people kind of live. So you kind of have to go down there at some point, you know? Like you can't really just like not go down. But yeah, and then the lowest class is the slums. People avoid it, and like, to be fair, there's decent reasons to avoid it. It is known for being dangerous and being robbed and such, but also because of that, since nobody really goes down there, they're basically self-sufficient. They make everything themselves. And it's illegal for someone to go up a class unless they're invited. No one invites someone from the lowest like region to go into any of the upper ones, so they're technically not allowed, but they sneak in anyways, basically. And so obviously that's also where a lot of the crime happens, and a lot of criminals is that area of the city. And that is where, okay, wait, how many blocks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we finally go in. Oh, I don't forget what circle this is. Okay. I just wanna watch TV. 21. Oh, I forgot that I added the song in, and then I was like, wait, why did I add this in? And then I was like, ooh. But basically, so in the story, there's also then the council that rules this, what's it called? The city and the country. And they are hidden by masks. And everyone kind of knows something's off about them, but no one says anything. And they've been ruling for a while. No one's entirely sure exactly when, but they've been here for a while. And what happens is, in the public's eye, they all kind of assume that they're passing their like thing on to successors, because every council member is always, whenever they're seen in public, kind of like, they're not really, their identities aren't super public, and they all have like an emblem that kind of they go by, and so because of that, then everyone just kind of assumes that, like, yes, we aren't a part of it, but the power is transitioning hands. It's kind of just like a monarchy in a way, but a council instead. And man, talking about this while listening to Jackson's playlist and this particular song is playing is making me sad. But what's it called? What am I talking about? Yes, the story. Oh yeah, I was gonna skip this song because it was sad. I tabbed out and then I forgot what I was tabbed with. Okay, so some of these are sad because he has sadness in his story. Anyways, but the truth of the matter is that the council does not change. They have found a way to make themselves immortal. And yeah. And the other really important thing to note in this story is there is magic. However, the reason there's magic is because there's two different worlds that exist on different planes of reality, but they are the same world. And why that is there's two gods in this. There's two deities. And they kind of try, but also, like, they kind of don't really realize the concept of time super well and stuff. And also, like, interference and stuff like that. And there's just, they are flawed. They are flawed deities. I don't love putting perfect deities in my story. They are very flawed. But essentially, a while ago, like, they used to be one world, and then one of the gods, basically, she kind of has, like, a lot of more so to do with prophecy, and the other one has a lot more to do with in the now. So one's kind of, like, existing a little bit further, well, like, past and, like, the past and the future, and then the other one's kind of more so in the present. Now, the one more so in the present is obviously the more active one of the two. Her name's Isfa. The other one is named Aurelia. Now, Aurelia has a vision that eventually magic will basically be the downfall of the world. And they go, that's not good. And what do we do to solve that? Oh, I know. What if we separate everyone who has magic onto a plane and of reality on this world, and everyone who doesn't have magic onto a plane of reality? And they kind of, like, see this one, like, nobody's really aware of magic, and, like, the world's still pretty new. So they kind of go, yeah, sounds perfect. You know, like, that's exactly what we're gonna do. There will be no issues from this. None whatsoever. We're so brilliant. We've got this. If you can't tell, there were issues. A lot of them. And they were not the best at dealing with them. Man, I forgot how good this story is, actually. I, like, just in general, I'm like, wow, we actually, like, I put a lot of fucking thought into this. But, basically, what's it called? What am I saying? Once again, very hurtful of this song to come on, as I haven't even talked about their dynamic yet. Okay, this is a happier song for him. But, anyways. There happens to then, with that, they kind of just separated them into alternate planes and kind of just threw up a wall, but, like, didn't really reinforce it with too much, basically, is how they did it. And if you couldn't guess, that's kind of like, with realities clashing and colliding, a singular wall ain't gonna do too much, you know? Like, there's just kind of like, something, you know? And so the wall eventually kind of starts to break down certain spots, weak spots in the world, and these rifts start appearing on either side. And since these worlds are mirrors of each other, then, like, they have pretty similar progress. Also, it's important to note that Isfa has been taken with the planet that has magic, basically. She's been taken by them, because they live so much more in the now, in the present, here, and their progress is kind of, it happens now. It doesn't really happen over a longer period of time. And, Aurelia is the one who kind of is taken with the non-magic people. And both societies kind of figure out that there are gods. Like, they both kind of just figure this out. They really do. Pretty quickly, actually. And they're like, they just kind of are like, well, okay, they exist. We kind of just have to suck that up a little bit. And because of that, then obviously they figure out that also, like, for the people without magic, they figure out that if they pray to Aurelia, they're more likely to get their plans, like, their prayers answered. And for the others, they figure out if they pray to Isfa, they're more likely to get their prayers answered. And so they kind of, while they still keep in mind the other one, they both also then kind of have a closer relationship with either Isfa or Aurelia, depending on where you live. And it's just kind of accepted. You know, it's like, okay, well, this person doesn't do too much anyways, and it's not like we dislike them, it's more so just like a, well, I mean, what's the point in praying to Aurelia if she's gonna grant my prayer, like, 25% of the time, but Isfa grants it 75, you know, you still kind of say thank you, Aurelia, in your prayers to not anger her, but you don't really ask for too much. Whereas, like, with Isfa, if you were, well, I'm saying this like you were on the world that's closer to Isfa. You kind of like, yeah, it makes sense. What's it called? And so, with this, eventually the worlds, like, kind of crosses back into each other. And because they're mirror versions of the world, then they actually manage to make their, like, main cities in the same place. Like, who could have guessed? And then, like, with the other ones, as they kind of, like, cross over and stuff, people are wary, people are a little, definitely, like, wary of this. But eventually they kind of warm up, and things start going well. But there's still, like, tensions, because one of these people, like, this Finn, what are they called, actually? I forget. Basically, but one of them has magic, and the others don't. Like, that's an incredibly big difference. You know? And so, because of that, tensions still are not super low. And eventually, like, this is, like, taking place over years, by the way, like, chat. This is, like, not just, like, happening immediately. But eventually, the prince from one civilization wants to get, marry the princess of the other one. And the royals are, like, ecstatic over this. They're like, perfect, it'll bring our two countries together, and blah, 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 blah. Also, it's important to note, this is not just happening in this one country. This is happening all over the world. The other parts of the world are dealing with relatively similar things to this. In the fact that, like, they're like, oh, our peoples don't like this as much, like, or, like, they either, like, there's just, like, more stuff going on and everything like that. And so, but we're just focusing on this one particular city. And I haven't talked about this world in so long that I'm like, wait, what's the name of the city? I cannot remember, actually. But, essentially, eventually, one particular group of people decide they really don't like the magic users. And they really need to do something so that, like, this engagement is called off. And they end up storming the castle and, killing both the princess and the prince, and also, the royals of the, what's it called? The royals of the kingdom without magic, which is where they are currently residing. So, it's left kind of setting up the other kingdom. Everyone's kind of like, wait, what the fuck? Like, why? Why are you guys safe? Why were our royals the ones that were killed? Like, you guys are perfectly safe. And they're like, well, we lost the princess. And they're like, well, fuck the princess. We lost our prince too. But we also lost our king and queen and everything like that. And basically, like, eventually the consensus is magic users are bad. And there's no, like, question or real thought about it. And because of that, everyone's kind of preparing for war. Like, and I don't mean just like lightly preparing, like preparing, like war is imminent at this point. And everyone's just kind of wondering how it's gonna go down. You know, like you're just kind of nervously going, one of these sides has magic. And yeah, and now because they've been living and coexisting together for years, the magic users didn't have a super big like reliance on technology because they didn't need to. They kind of had magic, and you kind of found your jobs based off that, and yeah. But ever since getting integrated into the others side of the world, then they did learn about technology. And so now both sides have seen what technology and magic can do together, and only one side can utilize it. And so just more and more fear goes through. And eventually one guy kind of steps up and is like, I used to be close to the royal family, like I was in the military, blah 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 blah. And he kind of takes charge. And he takes charge and does a good job. Like, he's doing pretty well. But also, a lot of people at this point have also now gained relations with people who are not, like, they're either dating someone, or there's some people who've already gotten married. Like, this has been happening for a fucking long time, and just now people are, like, having issues with it. And so people are like, okay, but guys, like, my boyfriend, like, is a magic user or whatever, or like my child is, and like my wife and stuff like that. And the war kind of rages on for a while, and then finally the gods finally take notice and go, oh shit, so we actually caused the prophecy to come true. That's another thing that I love in stories, is self-fulfilling prophecies. Like, the prophecy is true, you can't avoid it. It's what you do actually is the thing that kind of causes it. I love prophecies like that, so I made one in this story. I basically took all my favorite tropes and went, into my book. Yeah. And so they then notice and they go, what do? We just have to create something to keep these two worlds apart from each other. And what they essentially do is they make it so that the, like, rifts are entirely closed. They're boarded up. There's no way to enter the one of the worlds from the other anymore. Like, there just isn't. But the thing is they didn't remove everyone back to their original worlds. And so magic users are stuck in the, non-magic world, and non-magic users are stuck in the magic world. And it's kind of this whole thing, because everyone's like, what the fuck just happened? And they kind of eventually figure out it was the gods. And they're like, oh shit, like, what? Why are they taking, like, notice now of all times? And so because of that, eventually then, oh man, I'm using all the stone. Okay. To be fair, it's looking pretty good so far. And then I also want to add some more, like, stairs and stuff. I think once we finish just the third layer, that's when we're going to call it for today, though. What's it called? Well, the gods did learn, and they learned that a wall will not do the trick. It won't. There will eventually be breaks, there will eventually be holes, and so they decide that what they're gonna do to fix that this time is that they're going to just kind of not give that a chance to happen. And they kind of put an extra plane of reality in between the two, which, like, is kind of crazy. And to their credit, it works. Like, it is literally just basically a black hole. So if there ever is then a rift, they figure out no one would be able to cross over anyways, and it'd just serve as like a blockade. Even if the rifts do open back up, no one will be able to get through and stuff like that. Spoiler alert, they're not entirely right. Don't know if you guys could have guessed that one coming, but yeah, they're not entirely right about that. And so everything kind of continues as normal. Well, eventually in the King Magic world, things literally equal out there. Like, eventually they just kind of take everyone in as refugees, and they're like, we're really sorry this happened, like, we didn't really want to go to war with you guys, blah 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 blah. And I mean, a lot of the people that are in the magic world at the time were military. These are the guys that were fighting to kill like the other sides, and they're just kind of suddenly be showing hospitality, and a lot of them are going, why? Like, why are you guys giving us this kindness? We literally came here to kill you guys and stuff. But eventually everything just kind of works out. Like, on that world, most people who didn't like have magic ended up kind of working out getting magic because of how the magic works in the gene pool. And fun fact, the magic in this world travels through an autosomal recessive gene. I know that for a fact because we discussed it and we figured out that was what made the most sense. Because I was a science nerd and we had to do a biology project about hereditary genes, and we could make up something if we wanted. So I asked my teacher, can I do something from a fictional story? And she said yes. So I promptly figured out what type of gene this was, and then drew up a family tree for my character, Ash. Yep. That is what happened. And then we figured out how magic was transferred through generations, which was incredibly useful. But because of that, then it is a recessive trait, so obviously it takes a bit of time for that to kind of kick in a little bit, but eventually, basically everyone in that world has magic, and it kind of equalized out. And there's kind of some skirmishes every once in a while, but like they're mostly fine. But then in the other worlds, the guy who took charge of the military and led the entire war turns out to also be the guy that orchestrated the murder of the prince, princess, and king and queen. And everyone kind of goes, what the fuck, dude? Like, you were the one who caused this war in the first place? What? Not gonna lie, like, he was not being super subtle about it at all. But they didn't really figure that out in a time of war, you know? Which, I mean, fair enough, I guess. You don't really always figure things out when you're at a crisis. But basically, as soon as that crisis ends, then they rush to the castle again with pitchforks and kill him instead. Yeah, that one was definitely less planned and more so just murderous intent by the general population, but it works. And yeah, and so then with that, the general agreement is we don't want a single person to be our leader anymore. We don't want that. And so they decide to elect a council. Now, this council is a bunch of perfectly normal people who are just obscenely corrupt. They are politicians, guys. They're corrupt. I'm sorry if you think I'm gonna make politicians not corrupt. You're entirely wrong. But the politicians corrupt. You know? I don't know what else you would expect from a dystopian world. But yeah, so they're corrupt, and when they get power, they kind of make a pact that they'll keep it in the families. Like, they will just pass it down. They get old, and they'll train whoever in their family wants to take over. And so what happens then is we get through a generation and they pass down the power. I mean, everyone else kind of was like, okay, well, that also makes sense. Like, we're still kind of in a turmoil. We're still kind of figuring things out. It probably is also easier to not completely just transition power to also completely new people. At least it's in the family. We did trust these people. They're like some of the people who led us through the war and were faithful and blah, 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 blah. Bad fucking choice, guys. Bad fucking choice. Should not have done that, but they did. And to be fair, they are in a crisis situation. You don't exactly have a whole lot of choices all the time. But because of that, then these guys are in power, and they don't really have a way to veto them being in power, except for the elite class, and yeah. Anyways, these guys, the council, they name themselves the Silent Assembly. Well, half name, half that name is given to them. And okay, how does this actually wait? How does this look? I want to see how this looks now. Yeah, okay. But eventually, with all this, they sort everything out. They basically, what they do is they take basically anyone who's still a pure, has no magic in their bloodline, anything like that, they get put into top class. Anyone who's like your sister like has magic, or like one of your parents did, or like something like that, you're automatically just shoved into the middle class. And then if like let's say like your mother, you and your brother all have magic but your father doesn't, you're shoved in the bottom class. Like, yeah, they don't really care. And what happens there then is basically 90% of the people with magic get shoved into one fucking class in the city, which means obviously more magic is going to grow there. The middle round kind of is like a mix of both, but since magic is a recessive gene, it kind of fades out a little bit. And so it becomes more acceptable then to associate with them because they don't have magic. But the high class remains elite. And the highest of the high class are the ones who've never had their blood tainted in 1,000 years with that, and blah blah blah, and they don't have anyone from the middle class mixed in, and they are inbred. They're fucking inbred. That is like literally the only way to say it. But because of that, then like, well, I mean, it's just kind of like it's a corrupt government for a while. But then, Isfa and Aurelia are right. The rifts do kind of open back up, but they look at them and they kind of go, they're like paying a bit more of a close attention this time. So they look at them and they go, okay, they're opening up. Can anyone get through? And they promptly watch people who've heard the stories are like, oh, I can do this, and like try to. It does not work. They just, yeah, they die. They get sucked basically into the void between worlds, which essentially is it's a magic hungry void that just kind of sucks the life out of your body. That's kind of what it is. It takes your soul, your life, and your magic, and that's what it feeds upon. And the thing with this is that if you have a really powerful magic that can sustain yourself for a while, you can survive for longer in there. You might lose your mind, but you'll live. And eventually, when your body's running on just adrenaline and survival instinct, okay, I guess this is where we're stopping for today with building, because I don't feel like getting more stone. But when your body's kind of functioning, all that sort of stuff, you just, you lose your mind and you're focused on surviving. You climb through the nearest rift. And so what comes out of those rifts now is not humans, it's not corpses, it's wraiths. Wraiths are these shadow beings that have been consumed and mostly destroyed by the abyss and have little left than the functioning of their own magic system. Because magic is also a bit like an organ. You need it. If you have magic and you never use it, you are damaging yourself. And the more you use it, like an organ, the stronger it grows and such. But it's also one of those things where if you aren't built to have one, it hurts you. And if you have magic, but that organ starts to fail, you start to suffer the consequences. And wraiths, it's almost like you kind of took out the heart, but then left like a tube in the middle, 2 tubes in the middle for the blood to still flow. Like, technically, the blood still flows, but it's very broken, you know? And what wraiths then kind of, they are beings that are driven off of instinct alone. They don't have a mind. They don't have thoughts. What they can do, though, is they've been infected with the void, and so they can now consume magic and life forces. They are beings now basically purely made of magic, in fact. And because of this, they can also sense magic. And magic in this world is classified into different types. But essentially, wraiths go track down people who have the same magic type as them and then feast on them and leave hollowed out shells and corpses behind as of their victims in order to survive. And they don't have a choice. They literally are driven by instinct. It is not their fault. Wraiths are just these things that exist in the world now. And eventually the Silent Assembly discovers them. And through a lot of fucking testing, they end up discovering a way to bond themselves to wraiths. And part of that basically is like you kind of take part of yourself and you give it to the wraith, and you kind of take part of the wraith and put it in yourself. And it's, yeah, not pleasant. But the thing about this again, right, is magic functions as, I guess we are actually grabbing more stuff because I want to keep talking. But the thing about this is, like I said, magic is an organ. You aren't made to, if your body gets shoved around to fit an organ that you weren't meant to have, that ain't good, you know? And that is what these guys kind of did to themselves. And so at first they're like, we have magic, blah blah blah, and then they start to notice that, like, oh shit, I'm going into I'm having these diseases and stuff. But then one of the race that they bonded to escapes and feeds, and that person gets healthier because they got more magic flooded into their system. And so they realize they need to drain others around them who have magic to be able to survive themselves. Obviously, horrible. Don't condone, don't support that. Horrible beings. And yeah, and they just kind of notice that, like, the longer they keep doing this, like, they aren't aging, and, like, they don't get sick ever, and they have magic now, and shit like that. And so they kind of were like, well, we're never passing this on to our children. And most of them are honestly young enough at the point that, like, they are married, and then they just kind of make excuses to their spouses and about why they don't want kids and such. And eventually they just outlive them. And everyone kind of assumes that they had kids. And it was just private. Because that's kind of a little bit of what happened the first time, you know? Everyone just kind of assumes, okay, these guys are the same. You know, they got passed on. Except it didn't. And this continues on for years. And they grow stricter and stricter. And they realize that the lowest district, they can just kind of use that as their hunting ground. They build a prison. The prison is basically just a way to be able to get people of the magic types they need and find them out easier. Because all the criminals that basically get arrested are from the lowest class. Therefore, most of them have magic as well. And it's this very horrible cycle of they make the classes tighter to restrict where people can do to be able to get their hands on more people with magic, because no one will notice someone disappearing from the prison class. But yeah. And this is now where our people come in. Our main character, Frederick, is actually from the top class. However, well, actually, okay, I'm gonna say that for a different time. I'm getting tired. My voice is hoarse. We'll probably talk. Oh, I'll be on tomorrow. I will stream tomorrow, chat. Thank you guys for coming out to this stream. Definitely is not what I expected. We're gonna end with this song. Definitely not. I did not expect to start talking about Mad Marauders, which is what the universe is called, but it was fun. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow at probably 7 p.m. EST. What's it called? 10 p.m. EST. Possibly my